Dr. Johnson was the founder and chief executive of a private student loan company, Reunion Student Loan Financing Corporation, before assuming his official role with the department. Is that correct?
That probably is correct.
Yes, it is.
Let me just interject.
I would like to continue.
And I would like to make clear that
we'll give you some time. I will get to it. Thank you so much.
The individual you have referred to is not part of the acquisition or procurement team.
Welcome back to the channel. What you're about to watch is a textbook case of political theater. Representative Ilhan Omar attempts to manufacture a gotcha moment against then Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos, leaning heavily on buzzwords like conflict of interest and billions in taxpayer dollars, hoping the accusation alone will land. But instead of taking the bait, DeVos remains calm, composed, and focused on the facts. As the exchange unfolds, you can actually see Omar's argument unravel in real time. We'll play the full clip and then break down how DeVos not only defended herself, but ultimately flipped the narrative. If you enjoy watching political ambushes fall apart, be sure to like, subscribe, and let's dive in. Welcome back to the channel. What you're about to see is pure political theater at its finest. Representative Ilhan Omar comes out swinging, trying to set up a classic gotcha moment against then Education Secretary Betsy DeVos. She tosses around dramatic phrases like conflict of interest and billions of taxpayer dollars, betting that the accusation alone will do the damage. But DeVos doesn't flinch. She stays calm, sticks to the facts, and lets the truth do the talking. And as the exchange continues, you can watch Omar's argument fall apart in real time. We'll play the full clip and then break down how DeVos not only shut it down, but completely flipped the narrative. If you enjoy seeing political ambushes backfire, hit like, subscribe, and let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. What you're about to see is a textbook example of a political ambush gone wrong. Representative Ilhan Omar tries to engineer a viral gotcha moment against then Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos, throwing around loaded terms like conflict of interest and billions of taxpayer dollars. The goal is clear: let the accusation do the damage. But DeVos refuses to take the bait. She stays calm, composed, and rooted in facts, and you can actually watch Omar's case crumble in real time. We'll play the full clip and then break down exactly how DeVos turned the tables and flipped the narrative. If you like watching political theater collapse under scrutiny, hit like, subscribe, and let's jump in.
Have reported on the conflict of interest that run rampant through your top aides, especially those advising you on higher ed and loan servicing. When responding to questions about these conflicts, you have failed to adequately convince Congress and the American people that these conflicts do not interfere with the billions of taxpayer dollars flowing from education to corporate interests. Today, I would like to better understand your decisions for selecting aides and ensuring that their conflicts do not harm taxpayers. Last May, 4 of my colleagues on this committee sent your general counsel a request for information about conflict of interest surrounding your $2 billion next-gen loan servicing solicitation. Given that this solicitation is given, I would like some information about the team that's leading it. Does Dr. A. Wade Johnson, is he the one that's spearheading this solicitation?
Dr. Johnson is head of the Next Gen Initiative.
All right. According to New York Times investigation, Dr. Johnson was the founder and chief executive of a private student loan company, Reunion Student Loan Financing Corporation, before assuming his official role with the department. Is that correct?
That probably is correct.
Yes, it is.
Let me just interject.
I would like to continue.
And I would like to make clear that
we'll give you some time. I will get to it. Thank you so much. Dr. Johnson was also the executive at the two financial services companies, First Data Corporation and TSYS. Additionally, Dr. Johnson was hired at least one other TSYS veteran, Mr. Patrick Fox. Have any of Dr. Johnson's previous employers bid on elements of next-gen solicitation?
Congresswoman, all of my staff, all of my team at the Department of Education and Federal Student Aid has gone through their ethics process, has taken and takes their ethics obligations very seriously. We don't have conflicts, and we will not be conflicted. We have continued to have a robust screening process, and can stand and be very resolute about that.
So given that there is about $2 billion per year in taxpayer dollars flowing through this program, will you commit to releasing communication between the procurement team and any of Dr. Johnson's former employees?
So all of the procurement is walled off from the rest.
That would just be yes or no. Would you be committed to releasing any communication between Dr. Johnson and his employees?
Not to releasing internal communication, but the procurement team is walled off from the rest of the team, and the procurement process is very definitely prescribed as to how it has to happen.
That has not clearly answered my question. The federal acquisition regulations have a section on conflict of interest. It states, the general rule is to avoid strictly any conflict of interest or even the appearance of conflict of interest in government contract relations. While many federal laws and regulations place restrictions on actions of government personnel, their official conduct must, in addition, be such that they would not have no reluctance to make a full public disclosure of their actions. You seem to have reluctance to make a full public disclosure of the actions of the head of the department's largest single procurement team, despite there being obvious appearance of conflict of interest. How is your denial to release communication in line with extremely high conflict of interest standards that's required by federal law?
The individual you have referred to is not part of the acquisition or procurement team.
Okay. But we need the communication that is happening between the procurement team.
Now that you've seen the exchange, let's break it down. Omar's strategy is obvious from the start. She isn't asking questions to learn anything, she's trying to manufacture a viral moment. She opens with sweeping accusations, vaguely citing numerous reports without naming a single source, immediately attempting to put DeVos on the defensive. From there, she zeroes in on Dr. A. Wayne Johnson, reading his resume as if it's evidence of wrongdoing simply because he has private sector experience. But that's the irony. That experience is precisely what made him qualified for the role in the first place. Throughout the exchange, DeVos never gets rattled. She stays calm and explains that every member of her team undergoes a strict ethics review process, refusing to be pulled into personal insinuations. When the conflict of interest claim fails to land, Omar pivots to arguing about the appearance of impropriety and demands internal communications. That's when DeVos delivers the knockout blow. The individual Omar keeps referencing wasn't even involved in the procurement or acquisition process. In one sentence, the entire premise of the attack collapses. Omar's final fallback is to claim that the public believes there's a conflict, essentially admitting she has no factual case at all. In the end, this wasn't oversight. It was a failed hit job. DeVos stayed disciplined, stuck to the facts, and dismantled a narrative built entirely on implication. That's grace under pressure.